iStocks. I inspire, challenge, and empower. Our topic is the big mistake in schools. And the big mistake we are making right now is lack of mentorship. These students, we have many students in school, but they're not being mentored. And that's why I feel we should change our institutions from institutions of learning to institutions of training. We are training students for life. They are learning for life. But in most cases, you are just always completing the syllabus. We are rushing to complete the syllabus. But yes, we have completed the syllabus. But is this student able to manage stress after high school? Is this student able to plan himself? Is this student able to fit into a business or a job? Is this student able to stand on his own or her own after Form 4? So why don't we change the institutions from learning to training? Why don't we mentor these students very early? Why don't we give them exposure? Because I've gone to so many schools and you find students, they are failing because they lack exposure. There's a student who was born and has never gone to Nairobi. Student lives somewhere, has never gone to a big city. So when you ask them to ride the car they want to drive, the only car they can ride is a problem box. When you ask them to write the amount of salary they want to earn, in one of the schools they said, I want to be earning 10,000. So these students lack exposure, they don't know the other side of life. And that's why one time, we got so many exposures when we were in high school. Like our high school used to organize top 10 trips. We were taken to General Motors, General Motors, Kampuru Dam, so many Coca-Cola and several companies. And in one of the companies, there's this lady, General Motors. The lady who was heading the other engineers is Dorothy. And I learned something from Dorothy because I asked myself, if Dorothy can work so hard as a lady to become an engineer, then I'll be a failure if I don't become something better or something equal to her. And that's why I worked hard in school. But many students out there, they lack the exposure. That's why they lack a vision, they lack a purpose. They're just in school studying. Yet we have opportunities to expose these students. We have technology. We can expose them through books. We can expose them through videos. Just download a video, show the students. We have get projectors, show the students about a video about US, about Nairobi, or a video about the transition that is happening all around Africa. But in most cases, we are misusing a technology. Our technology is all about social media. We are in WhatsApp laughing at jokes, at memes, and that's our life. And we expect these students to become better. So the main problem with Africa and our systems is because our institutions are institutions of learning instead of being institutions of training. And that's why we have poor human resources in our offices. And I can tell you, many companies are losing a lot of money because they have the wrong people in the reception. They have the wrong people in the managerial positions. Because if your manager is visionary, if your manager has a lot of exposure, you'll not be working for a salary, but you'll be working to grow the company. But some of them ask themselves, why should I work hard kutajirisha boss yangu? So when are you going to change? If we mentor people, if we give them exposure, if we make them to have a purpose, and if we make them use technology for the right things. About lack of exposure, I can say I've also learned a lot from people. Because there's one time my friend took me to an hotel with his family and he was paying 500 for lunch for each, and I felt this guy is overspending. Little did I know that it's a lifestyle for him. And you find there's one school I was talking about, guys earning millions of money, like are the CEOs in this country, and students were asking me what is this money all for. That means we are lacking a lot of exposure, and that's why I'm worried that even after 20 years or 30 years, there are people who will be complaining that the students are not in school because of lack of school fee. And that's why I want you to ask yourself, will your children be sent home for school fee? Will your children be hungry 10 years from now because you never went to school or you never worked hard in school? But there's the role a teacher must play, giving the students exposure. And that's why I believe that there are three strong departments in a school. One, we may say it's not a department, but we have the languages. Empower this student to speak for himself, to have the confidence to speak. Empower this student in sciences, the mathematics. The science department is very important, and that's why many careers are considering. In fact, for you to do any career, they consider maths, stroke physics. It's either you have a C or a C+. In most of the careers, and the other they check the sciences. So we need to look at those two departments. Then the management. Who is the principal of the school? Who is the deputy of the school? If the principal is very visionary, then look at the school. You find some schools have pavements because the principal also has pavements in a home. They have tiles in classes because the principal has tiles in classes. But in a school whereby the same is different, then it means why should you put tiles when there's no tiles in your home? So we need to have a conversation and exposure. And that's why you should always organize trips for students. Parents may have a hard time of paying, but let's convince them that these students need the exposure. And that's how we're going to change Africa. Because I feel what we are doing right now, when students in one big school, let's Alliance, are being given exposure, and a student in one of the schools like Kunekela is not given exposure, then it means we are creating social injustices. And these people might meet in campus or in the society. You know, when you're looking for a wife, nobody has been written, this one has a degree, that one has a diploma or a certificate, that one is a form for labor. So you find a degree student with engineering has found a beautiful girl, but the beautiful girl is not exposed. So these people cannot get married because the two are in different worlds. One is green, one is prepared for life. You find a student is so super, knows how to work hard and plan, and meet someone who does not know how to plan. And all these people, and that's why we listen to people, and you find one is saying, my name is, and another one is saying, my names are, and sometimes you wonder, which school did you go to? But it's lack of the exposure. So the big mistake we are making is lack of exposure, lack of mentorship, and lack of a purpose. Thank you.